let's first of all introduce yourself. I know you're pretty well known around the state based on events that you have been to, and then having since won the Miss Rodeo Arkansas 2023. Who is Abigail?
So my name is Abigail Benz. I reside in Siloam Springs, but I am a military child. So I have actually lived in 10 different states. I graduated from Auburn University for my undergraduate. I'm getting my master's degree from the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. And I won Miss Rodeo Arkansas at K. Rogers Park back in May. And so I will travel the next year representing the state of Arkansas, promoting the sport of professional rodeo. We have 14 pro rodeos in the state of Arkansas, which a lot of people might not know. It's actually very well known in Arkansas to have rodeo. We not only have professional rodeos, we have youth rodeo, we have high school rodeo. And so I will spend the next 365 days traveling the state of Arkansas, concluding at the national finals rodeo in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I'll compete for the title of Miss Rodeo America. And I will be the first Miss Rodeo Arkansas to win Miss Rodeo America when I win.
So does this mean that you're putting the school on hold, or are you doing both?
I will be doing both. They have a great online program where I am able to take a few of my classes online. So for the next year, I'll be able to take my classes online, and I won't have to put off too much. I'll have to miss a few of the great sporting events, but I'll be at rodeos instead.
How long have you been involved in rodeos?
I started going to rodeos when I was a kid. I actually attended the National Western Stock Show when my family lived in Denver. And I met my first rodeo queen there. She was Miss Rodeo America. They had a drill team there, and I just loved it. My dad is a colonel in the Army. At the time, he was a major, and he had just returned from a tour in Iraq. And so to see the queen carrying the flag on a beautiful horse, it just meant so much to me. And to see my dad standing there, I thought that's definitely something that I want to do one day. And so I actually get to go in January to the National Western Stock Show and carry flags there. And so it'll really be a cool experience. But I just started rodeo queening during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I was furloughed from my job at the Miami Marlins, and I still wanted to continue to work in the community, work with kids, give back. And so I started rodeo queening, started my nonprofit Cowgirl Courage, and so I was able to continue doing this and still ride horses, which is something that I love doing.
You brought up Cowgirl Courage. There are many aspects of that effort. Talk about that for just a bit.
So Cowgirl Courage started because there was something that all cowboys and cowgirls have that I feel that everybody else can have, and that's courage. And courage is just speaking up for what you believe in. And as a kid, my sister and I were both bullied. We were new kids a lot because of my dad. And I also spent a lot of time in Atlanta, which is a capital for human trafficking. So I kind of was able to see how courage can help people of all backgrounds, and having courage and having the courage to stand up for what you believe in. So I say, speak up, stand up, saddle up. You do not have to be a cowgirl to have cowgirl courage. You can be a cowboy or somebody who doesn't even know what a saddle is. So really my goal with it is so that any sort of injustice, from bullying to human trafficking to any sort of domestic violence, that it will be stopped through acts of courage. And that's just standing up for what you believe in. And something that's even a small act that's made such a difference when I was a kid was one kid came over and sat with me at the lunch table when I was sitting by myself. And that takes courage. And so it's just small acts of courage that hopefully will make a new generation of everyone being courageous and standing up for what they believe in.
How important is it, since you mentioned that you and your sister were bullied in school, how important is it to have this program, and what are you doing with it? Are you going to schools? Are you making speeches? What are you actually doing to reduce this growing problem of bullying in schools?
So the problem with bullying has continued to grow, especially with social media. And something that I've been doing, I go talk to schools, I go talk to community organizations. I even have younger queens who go out and do talks as well, and even have little clubs at their schools. And so it's so important that what we do not only reflects in the schools, but also in how they're behaving on social media. And so something that we're doing this year through Miss Rodeo Arkansas is Courageous Cowgirls. We're featuring students, police officers, military personnel, anybody who is showing acts of courage. And we're going to try to do that every week, and then go into schools, talk to kids about not only bullying in schools, but also online bullying, because that can be so hard. And I think that what's so important to me is that everybody knows that you do not have to have a crown or have a platform to have courage and to not bully somebody.
What do you tell kids? Because it is an act of courage to an extent to stop bullying or to approach somebody. What do you tell kids to make them take that first step?
So something that I really love is just acts of courage, and that's something that I really like push in the schools. And so I have little storybooks. I'm actually working with an illustrator who is a college student, and we are working on a children's book about Cowgirl Courage and about how you can include others. And so something that I always like to say at schools is leave them with something that they can take with them. And that's something, whether it be a bracelet or a webcam cover or something that can remind them, a sticker every day, that they can have courage. And if they remind themselves, then they're going to push the initiative on others, and they're going to remind others not to bully each other. And it is hard, because I think kids never want to be that first one to speak up. But when they see somebody that comes in and talks to them about it, and they see that they can be that person, there's an interesting quote that one person can truly make a difference. And there's a story about a little girl and her dad. They were walking on the beach, and she was throwing back the starfish. And her dad said, "There's thousands of starfish out here. It will not make a difference." And she picked one up and she threw it back, and she said, "Well, it sure made a difference for that one." And I think if you can remind them that just one smile, just one inviting somebody to do something with them can truly make a difference, I think that they see that as their time to really have that cowgirl courage.
What kind of a response have you gotten with Cowgirl Courage since it started?
Well, it's grown so much. Originally, when I started it, it was not a nonprofit, but we've been able to do book drives and really fundraise for organizations who are actually having hands-on in these situations, because I right now do not go in everywhere. I can't be in every place. So being able to have these organizations who have the foundation and being able to use my platform and use their platform together has really made a difference. But it started out just me talking about it at rodeos. And it started out just as human trafficking. But something that I realized as I continued was that people who are bullied, people who have situations that are not great when they're youth, they tend to be victims later on. And so it's so important to stop it in the roots of it and just cut it off from the beginning. Because if you have courage, and if you're not going to bully, if you're going to stand up for your friends, if you're going to stand up for what you believe in, then later on, if you see something, or if somebody's making you feel uncomfortable, or if there's a situation that's not right, you'll be able to take your initiative and take your understanding of having courage and stop it. And the whole goal is to eventually have no injustice, period. And so starting with kids, starting with even adults, my dad and my mom, they love to promote Cowgirl Courage, and even things that make them uncomfortable to talk about. It's not fun to talk about bullying. It's not fun to talk about human trafficking, but it's important. And when you have a platform, you should use it for good.
How much traveling, not only in Arkansas, are you going to be doing over the next year, but around the country? What does this title allow you to do now as far as traveling?
I will travel over 50,000 miles across the United States. I think that in the months of January, February, and March, I have 2 days off, and they're back to back. So it's just 2 days off, and the rest of the time, I'm promoting the sport of rodeo. I'm promoting Cowgirl Courage. I'm traveling to military bases, schools, really just showing the importance of the Western industry and the importance of continuing to be courageous.
Are you ready for this?
This is actually the first time since I was crowned that I'm wearing the crown, so it feels so real right now. But on Saturday, January 7th, I will officially receive the crown at K. Rogers Park. And so I think once that happens, I will be ready. I've been preparing. The nice thing about the Miss Rodeo Arkansas program is you have a lady in waiting period. So I've been able to follow the 2022 Miss Rodeo Arkansas Molly Music and see what an incredible job she's done and really learn from her and really learn from the other queens and just be prepared. So I'm really excited. I think that a lot of us this year from all states, right now, I think they're saying there's 35 state queens this year, which is amazing. So hopefully they'll all come to Arkansas for Rodeo of the Ozarks and Old Fort Days.
Do you get a chance to visit with those other rodeo queens?
Yes, we're together at pretty much every single rodeo. We stay in the same hotel, we stay in the same host homes, we travel together. I'm driving to Rapid City from Denver with Miss Rodeo Colorado. I'm driving to Florida with Miss Rodeo Kansas. So we really get to spend a lot of time together, and really something that really relates back to Cowgirl Courage is just showing these true, genuine friendships and how we support each other. At the end of the year, we will all have to compete against each other. But really, the nice thing is that we're competing against ourselves. We push each other to really be the best versions of ourselves, and you never really get to see the other girls compete. So you just really are focusing on yourselves. And I know that at the end of the competition, whoever wins Miss Rodeo America, it will be their plan and it'll be them. And I'll be so excited because I'll have spent the whole year traveling with them, even though I really hope that it's me.
Do you see the sport itself growing in popularity? I know it is in Arkansas, but in other states that you go to, what do you see there?
I think that there's been a lot of growth in the excitement with rodeo. The Cowboy Channel just really got big. Yellowstone has really helped it. People really like the excitement. There's no staging in rodeo. I wish we could control the animals, but we can't. And it's really truly an American sport. You know, it's not really that well known in other countries. And so it's really exciting when we get to see competitors come from our home state and they've maybe lived in Arkansas for 4 or 5 generations and they've all rodeoed, and then you see them make the finals, make a good ride, and it's just really exciting. So I think that with the growth of popularity through social media, through television, it's really helped grow the excitement, and I see more and more young kids wanting to be a cowboy or be a cowgirl when they grow up. And I think that's really exciting, especially with it becoming more on mainstream television.
Well, Abigail, thank you so much. Best of luck, safe travels, and the message that you are sending out with Cowgirl Courage is just amazing.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for having me.